Hello and welcome to the Right Now Oregon Show. I'm your host, Alex McCadden. You can find all episodes of this program, as well as breaking news updates, more great Oregon podcasts, and editorials from Beaver State thought leaders online at www.rightnoworegon.com. Thanks for tuning in to today's show.
Please introduce yourself and tell us which office you're running for.
Hi, my name is Ben Fisher. I'm a seventh generation Oregonian, small business owner and a father. I'm running for Oregon House District 18, which is Molalla, Silverton, Aurora, Hubbard, St. Paul, Donald, Mount Angel, Colton, and some other small communities.
Now, what can you tell me more about what you do professionally, and do you have any public service or political background?
Yeah, I've got some unique background. I've been running my own small business for the last 14 years. I am the only mobile instrument cluster repair guy in Western Oregon. So I work on speedometers and mileage displays and gauges and your instrument clusters, your cluster of gauges. So it's pretty unique. I work for hundreds of local mechanics and car lots and dealerships. And there's in Oregon, the automotive world has seen some turmoil through the implementation of the CAT tax, and of course COVID wasn't very good on any businesses. So it's hit and miss sometimes, but I stay fairly busy. And then I have taken some other work in the past. I've been really engaged in my civic responsibilities for the last 15 years or something. So I've been kind of an activist. I've worked on a lot of initiatives and campaigns as a volunteer, and then I started getting paid for them eventually. And I did work for a couple of years for former Representative Mike Neerman.
All righty. Can you tell me more about your personal biography leading up to this point?
Yeah, so I like to touch on my family history. People find that interesting. So I'm a seventh generation Oregonian. Um, my great grandfather arrived in Oregon in 1845, and he was a Baptist abolitionist, and he is recognized as one of the 158 influential founders of Oregon. His name is honored down in the Senate Gallery at the state capitol. He was one of Oregon's main advocates for Oregon being a liberty state. And then his son, Ezra Timothy Taft Fisher, was one of the first Republican legislators in the state legislature in the 1860s. And ever since then, us Fishers have been pretty much farmers and businessmen. We're the Fishers of Fisher Implement John Deere tractor outlets, which we've long sold out from that now, but we used to have 11 stores around the valley. I grew up on a dairy farm in around Brownsville and Halsey, and then in 1989, my grandpa got sick of milking cows, and we all moved to Baker County, and I grew up on a 30,000 acre beef cattle ranch out there. And I graduated from Huntington High School in 1998. We had 16 people in my class, and the year before us was 4 people. So big school there. And then out of high school, I worked for 8 years for a pawn shop chain. And I was a manager and assistant manager for a pawn shop around Boise and Mountain Home area. And I did a little bit of school, and then I ended up getting pulled into doing electronics repair. My best friend is an electrical engineer, and he started working on instrument clusters and started a business down in Arizona, and he trained me. And I've been doing that ever since. And yeah, I focus on my business a lot. I like to stay busy with it when I can. Although I do like to show up for state, city, and council civic stuff. And then I am divorced now, but I have a 5-year-old daughter, and she spends a lot of time with me, and she's the light of my life. And and she's an eighth generation Oregonian, and I'm very proud of her.
Can you tell me more about your community of House District 18?
Well, honestly, I have always spent my time helping with initiatives and campaigns that are more all over the place. Um, I've been focused more statewide, and it's a little hard for me to zero in on one district, honestly. I know a lot of people here, but it's a little difficult to zero in on one district. It's very rural, much of this district. It's 70% Republican, and the sitting representative Rick Lewis is retiring. So the seat opened up, and it's an open seat. There's going to be 5 of us Republicans on the ballot on May 19th. There's one guy I don't think is campaigning much, so there will be 4 of us. There's essentially 4 of us that are campaigning, and it's an interesting race. Open seat, so it's a once in a blue moon opportunity, and it's a safe district. I hope to use the platform to speak out on important issues. In Oregon, the number one issue I hear everybody talking about is affordability, of course. Businesses and families are really struggling in Oregon, and something needs to change pretty soon.
Alrighty. As you talk to residents of House District 18, what are you hearing them say they would like to be the focus of the next state representative for the area?
Yeah, again, affordability is by far the number one issue on everybody's mind. There are some, more single issue people that are, focused on uh, abortion is rather radical in Oregon. So I'm very pro-life. There's some people that's their number one topic, and there's other Second Amendment people. I'm a big Second Amendment guy, but by far the number one issue is affordability. It's just the compound effect of all the taxes here. I think we're all seeing it in the media constantly now. Oregon has become extremely unaffordable since the CAT tax, the corporate activity tax, was passed. I think in 2018, Oregon has dropped 28 spots in our tax competitiveness index, and it's up at the top for one of the most unaffordable and highest taxed states. So that's what's on everybody's mind right now by far. And we need to hopefully repeal some of these bad laws and change some of these taxes for businesses and families.
Who is your favorite Oregon historical figure?
Well, I love Oregon history, and I've got some bias, but I'd have to say my great 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 grandfather, Reverend Ezra Fisher. Not only was he a slavery abolitionist, the guy did a lot of great things, and he didn't really try to take credit for a lot of it. He was a very humble man, but he built the first Baptist church west of the Rockies, at West Union Baptist Church. He built probably a dozen of the Baptist churches around the Willamette Valley. He built the first post office west of the Rockies in 1847 in Astoria. He was not the first postmaster, but he did build the building. They were all cabins back then, but he built the first building. He was an amazing guy. I could tell a lot of stories about him. He's definitely my favorite Oregon historical figure. He's a true inspiration to me.
What are the primary sources of your personal values?
I was raised I was raised as a Christian. I'm not super religious myself. I kind of fashion myself a deist like some of the founding fathers. I'm not super evangelical or anything like that, but I've always been a libertarian, and I used to be registered as a libertarian until I volunteered on the Ron Paul campaigns Both of them, particularly the second one, and Ron Paul kind of convinced me to register and work in the Republican Party. But I remain a libertarian, small L libertarian. Although I'm very good friends with some people in the Libertarian Party in Oregon, of course. But my values are libertarian, and and yeah, that's the best summary of that, I think.
All righty, now it's time for my world famous lightning round. First up, ducks or beavers?
Oh my, I am a fan of all things Oregon. I grew up in Brownsville and Halsey, so that was kind of in between Corvallis and Eugene. It was right in the vicinity of both of those. We usually see the Ducks in I'm a football guy mostly, so I mean I tend to be rooting for the Ducks in these bigger games. Then I mean baseball, the Beavers are always competitive. Um, and I root for whoever the Ducks or the Beavers are playing against. If this year is the first year that they won't be playing in the Civil War, well, it's still the Civil War. Um, but this is the first year in 80 years that they won't be playing each other in football. But gosh, I mean that's a hard one. I'd have to say I'm often rooting for the Ducks more just because they're a little higher ranked and stuff, you know. So Ducks, but it's 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 pretty close.
All righty. What is your favorite House District 18 landmark?
Oh, the Silver Falls State Park. It's awesome.
All
I've
righty.
spent a lot of time hiking through there. It's a really cool place. Well, the Abaquac Falls is really cool too, and I do not think that the state should purchase it. Um, but that's been debated as of at recently. But Silver Falls is pretty cool.
All righty. What is your favorite Oregon produced food?
Oh, we produce a lot. Um, I'm a big fan of beef. But and then cranberries, that we produce a lot of cranberries. Um, we're pretty well known now for our hazelnuts, and I really like I really like hazelnuts. I'm not a fan of the chocolate spread stuff, Nutella or whatever, but I'm a big fan of hazelnut flavored coffee. I think hazelnuts are a great crop. I'll go with hazelnuts.
All right. What's your favorite Oregon beverage?
Oh, well, I am almost 3 years sober from drinking, but I was a big fan of a lot of IPAs in Oregon. But we have some of the best, but I have to stay away from them. They're just too good, too many calories. So I'm not going to say that. I am a big kombucha guy. I think there's a few kombucha companies around Oregon. Um, I might be wrong. There's like Wonder, I think the Wonder kombucha is, and then there's I think Dr. Kombucha. But we have some good local kombuchas. I would say that'd be my number one drink. Yeah, I mean, I drink a lot of just water, and we have some good water in Oregon too.
All righty. What's your favorite restaurant in House District 18?
Ooh, um, the oh man, as of late, as of for the last year or so, I'm really into Mexican food. I think it's pretty healthy. And Trapala 2 in Hubbard is my go-to restaurant a lot of the time right now. There we have a lot of good ones. Um,
Awesome.
I love checking out restaurants, but yeah, I'll go with Trapala 2 in Hubbard, Oregon.
Sounds good. All righty. Next up, how can voters connect with you and learn more about your campaign?
Yeah, I am very fluent with social media. You can find me on all of the socials. Facebook is probably where I'm most active. Ben Fisher for Oregon House District 18. But more importantly, you can go to my website, fisherfororegon.com. That's for spelled out FOR, fisherfororegon.com. And you can volunteer. You can contact me through there. You can donate. You can read about my issues. Yeah, fisherfororegon.com. I'd love for you to check it out.
Thanks again for joining us on this episode of the Right Now Oregon Show. This has been your host, Alex McCadden. You can find all episodes of this program, as well as breaking news updates and more great Oregon podcasts and editorials from Beaver State thought leaders online at rightnoworegon.com. Until next time, Oregon.